Today we're going to look at upgrading Service Manager 2012 R2 to Service Manager 2016. In this lab I've got a workflow server, a secondary management server with the HTML5 portal installed, a data warehouse, and a client desktop with the console installed, and SQL 2012 server. Using the Microsoft documentation as our starting point, it gives detailed steps on upgrading Service Manager to 2016. As Service Manager is part of the System Center suite, you do need to pay attention to the order that you upgrade the applications. If you have Orchestrator, upgrade it first before upgrading Service Manager. Also, the evaluation version, there is no supported way to upgrade to a production key. Entering in the production key during the upgrade will not change the evaluation version. Check out the hardware requirements. I don't think there are any major changes from Service Manager 2012, and you should be able to do an in-place upgrade on existing hardware. But it will depend on whether you want to upgrade the Windows OS as well. Check out the software requirements. The biggest change here is the use of Windows.NET 4.5, and this will break most custom and third-party solutions that use DLLs or management pack bundles. During the actual upgrade, you will need to stop the data warehouse from updating, and this is probably the most complicated part of the process. But first, back up everything. This means exporting all management packs, especially the unsealed ones that hold data. Do not forget some of the system management packs that can hold data, like the incident tier queues. Then the upgrade process will be to start with the data warehouse server, then the workflow server, and then any management servers and client consoles. It all has to be done as one piece of work and cannot be staged over multiple sessions. First thing to note is the expansion of AD groups. Do not change this and continue to use it as configured. In a production environment, you'd probably disable all connectors while you're doing the upgrade, but as this is a lab, we will skip that step. Now we will start the upgrade process on the data warehouse server. Start by running PowerShell as administrator to stop the data warehouse jobs. The first commands here are the same and are importing the data warehouse PowerShell commandlets. Now we will disable the data warehouse jobs. The documentation says to wait 10 minutes and then confirm that the jobs have stopped, but we will move on to running the SQL script on the DWRepository database. Go to the SQL server and paste in the script. And then execute it. This will take a few seconds to run. And now we can start the upgrade process on the data warehouse server. I have already installed Windows.NET 4.5 on these boxes, and now I'm running the install process to see what other prerequisites I will need. Put in your Service Manager key as required. This will be the same one as Service Manager 2012. And on the check, you can see that I have failed the SQL 2014 analysis objects. So we will go off and get that now. Download the SQL AS AMO package. It's not very big. I've already put it in the folder, so I'll run that. And now you can go back and rerun the prerequisite checks again. It now passes, all the checks are good. Note again that I have already installed Windows.NET 4.5 on these servers. Running the upgrade process in the lab took about 10 minutes, but I will edit that out of the video. Importing the management packs took quite some time, and you can see it go through a few of them here. We will jump to the end and finalizing the install. Now it will ask you to back up the encryption key. This is always a very good idea in a production environment, and it will require a C path, and I'm putting it on C drive on the server. Enter a password, and we're done for the moment on the data warehouse server. Now we will go to the workflow server, which is probably the first Service Manager server that was installed. We run setup again. This time the option is to upgrade a management server. Put in the license key. On the prerequisite checks, I already had SQL analysis objects installed. Start the install. This took a little bit longer than the data warehouse server, about 15 minutes in the lab, and again importing the management packs takes a while. We will skip to the end and back up the encryption key again. We won't open the console at this point, and we will move on to the portal server, which is also a secondary management server. And when we run setup, we get an error as it requires a patch. Download the patch. The instructions are fairly straightforward. Save it to disk. And it tells you to check for a registry key, and we'll go off and have a look at that. And it's not there. The reason for that is we needed to run the patch as administrator. So let's go back again, right-click, refresh the registry, and we now have the transform key as required. Now go back and run setup again. The HTML5 portal will now be upgraded along with the secondary management server. Again, I've already got the SQL analysis objects, and all the checks have passed for both the management server and the portal. Running the install will be a little faster than the other two servers, but we will skip to the end and go on to the next step, which is the client console upgrade on a Windows 10 desktop. This time we will choose console upgrade. There is no key required on the console. Again, we need to have all the prerequisites installed first, and now we install. Now we can open the console, as we have essentially done everything in this lab, but the data warehouse has still got a few steps to enable the jobs we stopped at the beginning of the process. But if you have any third-party tools or custom applications, for example, I have Xapity clone, they will not run yet as they have not been upgraded to the 2016 versions that have been compiled on Windows.NET 4.5. We need to go back to the workflow server, and we will upgrade Xapity clone. Anything with a DLL or a management pack bundle will need to be upgraded to 2016. All third-party vendors should have a 2016 version at this point. Upgrade it straight over the top. It should have a higher version, and then import. Close the console and reopen again. Go to the same work item, and clone should now work. Clone copies the incident as expected. Now there are some final tasks to re-enable jobs on the data warehouse server. Restart the services if they are stopped, and we will go straight to restarting the jobs. Open up PowerShell as administrator and navigate to the Service Manager install folder, which was not quite the same in my lab as the documentation, which would be unfortunate in a production environment as it has 2012 R2 in the folder name. Import the data warehouse commandlets. We can see that some jobs are disabled from the previous steps, and we can now re-enable them again. We put in the data warehouse management group name. And then we do the same with the Service Manager group name. Then continue to the rest of the commands. The transform common job, load common, the data warehouse maintenance, the management pack syncing, management job syncing, and that is it. Now you have upgraded Service Manager 2012 to Service Manager 2016. Thank you for watching.